Welcome to the third video in this series on a crash course on programming in Python. In the last couple of videos, we saw how to install Python and some very basic stuff like arithmetic and logical operations. Now we'll see how to implement conditional statements like if and else. You would have seen something similar in C, C++, or MATLAB. Now, one very important feature which is different in Python is indentation. So typically in Python, indentation defines a block. So for example, if you wanted to write an if statement in C or C++, then typically you would write if something and then open brackets, open parentheses, write some code and close parentheses. So everything, all the code within the parenthesis would be executed if the if statement was true. Right, so essentially these parentheses define a block of code, and this block of code gets executed if you have a conditional statement. In Python, however, an indented piece of code essentially defines a block. So let me say that I have say a equal to 3. So this is how you define variables. In this case, a is a variable and it takes the value 3. Right, so now if I, let's say, add an indent, I put a tab and then say b equal to 4 and try to execute this, I get an error. Right, and the reason I'm getting this error is because Python really carefully sees indents, because an indent defines a block and you can't arbitrarily put blocks in between. Okay, now instead I put b equal to 4 and say if say a equal if a equal to b, then I want to execute something. I want to print that a equal to b. Right, so this is how you define an if statement. So if some condition and then followed by a colon, and the block of code which has to be executed if the if is true is basically has to be indented. So print a is equal to b. Okay, now everything I can add, I can print other stuff. I can also have, say, I want to execute x equal to 1. Right? Now if a is not equal to b, then I want to execute something else. So I can type else followed by a colon. So this is an else statement. Print. Okay. Now maybe I want to add, now if I have multiple conditions to check, then of course I can add if, else, and within this else I can add an if and an else. An easier way to do it is use the else if or the elif statement. Now suppose I want to check if a is equal to b, then I want to print a is equal to b. Elif a is greater than b, I want to print b a is greater than b, right? And if neither of these conditions are satisfied, then it's clear that a should be strictly less than b, and I want to print a is less than b. Right, in this case, a is less than b. If I change a equal to 5, then I get. Right, so these are basic if statements. Now, I may also want to use a while statement. Now you can also define loops and so on. So suppose I want to create a loop. Perhaps I want to find all the divisors of a particular number, right? To compute all divisors of a number. So let's say number is equal to